More about GeoSolutions. We develop a number of free and open source geospatial products, which are used by a number of high-profile organizations worldwide. We enable organizations to build cost-effective hybrid platforms that blend open source and proprietary, with a strong focus on interoperability and scalability for diverse geospatial needs. As I usually say, we do not sell licenses, but we empower customers with knowledge and expertise. And so we are able to work, and we do work with mostly every source of data, from LAS to, which means LiDAR, to remote sensing, drones, aerial imagery, IoT, etc., etc. I think right now we have around 150 active customers. When people usually ask us what is your main competitor, we say Esri, but they don't know it. Okay, because obviously we are much smaller. We joined WGIC to help bridge the gap between open source and proprietary solution, expand obviously our reach into possibly new markets and industries.
Hello and welcome to WGIC, the World Geospatial Industry Council. Our guest today is Simone Giannecchini, founder and director, GeoSolutions. Simone, thank you so much for joining this conversation.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
So my first question to you is, I was going through GeoSolutions website, and the tagline reads as your one-stop shop for geospatial open source software, right? Can you tell us more about the philosophy or your convictions around the open source software and why you chose this route for GeoSolutions business?
Okay, let's start with why we chose open source. This was actually a decision we made almost 20 years ago. I was working with the other founder for a military agency in Italy, for NATO, and they were exploring alternatives. It's a research center to proprietary software. We decided to start investigating open source. At that time, it was really the dawn of open source, MapServer, PostGIS, etc. And we saw a lot of potential. And after 2 years, we actually spun off with the company. So it was both an opportunity that was actually presented to us, but also something that we grabbed quickly because we saw that this was, something growing. And it was actually probably the only way to maintain some sort of control over what we were developing for them. And actually, that initially caused some discussions inside because this was NATO. But then, actually, they created a competence center for open source, and they invested a lot after what we did. So I don't think we started it, but we helped open source grow in NATO itself. More about GeoSolutions. We develop a number of free and open source geospatial products, which are used by a number of high-profile organizations worldwide. The top 3 products are GeoServer, which is the most widely known. It's a robust platform for managing and sharing geospatial data, both raster and vector data, mostly disseminating through OGC standards like WMS, WFS, but also de facto standards to ensure interoperability. Then we have MapStore, which is a web-based tool for creating, managing, and sharing maps, dashboards, geostories. It's a mapping platform. It has seamless integration with GeoServer, obviously, but also other services because it, again, focuses on interoperability through OGC standards like WMS, WFS, 3D tiles, etc. So it's an ideal tool for dynamic mapping, and we are actually working quite a lot with 3D tile support for urban digital twin applications with our customers. And then the last one is GeoNode. GeoNode is kind of an all-in-one open source platform for managing and sharing geospatial data, which includes GeoServer, PostGIS, and MapStore itself to give you a complete platform with control over data in terms of permissions, metadata, access, and so on and so forth. What we usually do, for our customers, we enable organizations to build cost-effective hybrid platforms that blend open source and proprietary, with a strong focus on interoperability and scalability for diverse geospatial needs. As I usually say, we do not sell licenses, but we empower customers with knowledge and expertise.
I see. Okay. So what are some of the applications your customers are developing or you are facilitating your customers developing using these products? Would you like to cite one or two examples?
Well, I mean, well, we develop when people usually ask us what is your main competitor, we say Esri, but they don't know it. Okay, because obviously we are much smaller. The products we develop are somehow products, so they can be used as is, but they are also let's say a framework, so they can be customized. I mean, this is built in with open source software. So we have customers in many different fields. Obviously, nowadays there are some areas that are more, let's say, thriving than others, but we work with, like, I can name probably 10 or 15 different fields. The ones where we are, let's say, seeing more momentum right now are the usual ones. Digital farming. We support a number of customers in this field. Farmer Search, for example. Geopard. We have worked with the Bayer and BASF in Europe. We work with IBF, which is an emerging Italian player in that area. We work quite a lot with Earth observation and environmental monitoring. Our customers count the German Space Agency, EUMETSAT, with the EUMETView platform. It's one of the leading European platform for environmental data. NOAA, for example, and other customers in this field. And obviously, we support a number of towns and, let's say, public bodies like counties, region, etc., with the so-called geoportals or open data portals where they publish data. We have the city of Florence, the city of New York, Helsinki, the city of Genoa in Italy, a number of municipalities in France. We have customers all over the world. So I would say that we see a little bit of everything, more the legacy GIS space, but also the new and interesting ones. So we are able to work, and we do work with mostly every source of data from LAS to, which means LiDAR, to remote sensing, drones, aerial imagery, IoT, etc.
Can you tell us more about your expertise in building enterprise class spatial data infrastructures, leveraging the open source geospatial frameworks?
Well, I think right now we have around 150 active customers that range from, I mean, a small town somewhere in southern Italy to a number of high-profile customers in which we are part, sometimes alone, sometimes in consortium with other of the maintenance and evolution of some large platforms. I can probably mention two or three of them. Our probably larger customer right now is the European Maritime Security Agency, which is in Lisbon, and they are actually responsible for somehow collecting, managing, and sharing information about anything that happens at sea to all the European stakeholders. And with them, we developed over the years, and we now maintain and develop a large platform to manage ship-related data for all the seas in the world. Because obviously, I mean, Europe is a big player, so they're not only interested in European seas. This includes, for example, AIS, or let's say ship position management, both historical as well as real time, for all the ships at sea. Which we are talking about hundreds of thousands of ships that are of interest. Obviously, we are talking about some slightly larger ships. And this is a quite big project, at least for us, that has a huge impact on Europe for a number of reasons, especially in this period. The other one I can mention in the US, we work with the Sea Island software for Eurovac, which is a platform that is actually used by FEMA and others to track hurricanes and storms. Okay, this is purely based on GeoServer. Kudos to Sea Island Software because they are the main developers, but we have been supporting them in the last 4 years in evolving and maintaining the platform. Last quick example, it's, as I said, I mentioned it before, EUMETView. It's the EUMETSAT products visualization platform. EUMETSAT is the European Meteorological Satellite Center. They build, launch, operate, and collect data from a number of meteorological satellites, Meteosat being the most interesting one, but they also interoperate with them, with the ESA and NOAA for some of the data they have. UmetView is a large platform. We are responsible for the backend services. So it's a platform based on, it's a private cloud based on GeoServer and PostGIS, where we ingest continuously more than 150 products developed by EUMETSAT and which are available to the web. We are talking about around 6 million requests per day. And if I remember correctly, like 10 terabytes of data generated every day in download. So it's a pretty big platform, only solely relying on open source.
All right. It's an amazing way of building things. So you've been working with the open source software for such a long time, and you've also been a long-standing member of OGC and also ISO TC211, and you're actively contributing to the development of open standards, right? So can you tell us more about your association with the standards organizations and which has provided foundations for the INSPIRE regulations as well, right?
Yep, GeoSolutions has been a long-standing member of OGC, but we have been using these standards and we've been developing applications using them even well before we were actually, I'd say, OGC member. GeoServer especially, but also MapStore, have been built with standards at core, okay? So they actually focus on these standards rather than developing their own protocols, etc. To ensure interoperability and to ensure smooth integration with client applications, and also the respect of the standards that are mandatory, like for the INSPIRE in Europe, but also in the past are the standards from the US and so on. We have worked with a number of organizations to develop infrastructure over the years to comply with INSPIRE regulations, which are built on top of OGC and ISO standards. We have worked with the BRGM, the French Geological Survey. We implemented INSPIRE compliance solution using GeoServer and MapStore to share geological data across multiple agencies at the European level. For example, we have worked with ZAMG, which is the Austrian National Weather Agency, where we deploy tools to manage and disseminate real-time geospatial data using, ensuring compliance with the INSPIRE standards, but also data accessibility for decision making. We were talking maybe about their network or weather station data with real-time sensor acquisitions. Okay.
So on that note, I would like to ask you, the growth and adoption of open source products and solutions is actually contingent on the collaboration with a number of like-minded partners, right? And maybe for this is the reason GeoSolutions has started its own partnership program, right? Can you please tell us about this partnership program?
Yep. Our partnership program is something that we set up a couple of years ago because a number of people were requesting it, and we have been toying with the idea for a while. Our partnership program is aimed at building a strong collaboration with organizations that share our commitment to open source geospatial solutions. We work with technology providers and integrators to expand the adoption of our products across various sectors and markets. The program focuses on knowledge sharing, obviously, because knowledge is what we have with open source, but also joint commercial efforts because we want to expand the markets and put together some critical mass to be able to tender for large opportunities, allowing us to leverage our partners' expertise and specialized skills to deliver tailored geospatial solutions worldwide, trying to ensure a broader reach and a greater impact together.
Okay, so the next part of this conversation is I want to focus on Geospatial Solutions association with WGIC. And as you mentioned it rightly, collaboration is the key. And I just want to understand what brings GeoSolutions to WGIC. It's been a few months, GeoSolutions is part of WGIC. And how do you see the business aspirations aligning with the WGIC and its members?
Well, we joined WGIC to help bridge the gap between open source and proprietary solution, expand obviously our reach into possibly new markets and industries. I mean, by collaborating with companies that mostly work with proprietary software and bring diverse strengths in technology, data, and services, we can combine our expertise with open source geospatial and allow us to create hybrid solution, because that's the key, hybrid solution. It's rarely only open source or only proprietary, that address complex customer needs and deliver interoperable, innovative solution to tackle the global challenges that we're facing in all the fields. I guess the key is hybrid solution. That's why we are we are trying to find partners also in the proprietary world to complement what we do. And obviously, I mean, it's also, as I said, to let's say broaden our reach as much as possible, because there is a lot of momentum, and there has been a lot of momentum around open source, but there is not so much knowledge about the professional profile that can bring professional expertise for open source.
Okay, so on that note, you have rightly WGIC has a vast number of organizations which are working on the proprietary side of the software and solutions. So, how do you intend to leverage these strengths and build solutions which are actually more beneficial for the users and customers?
Well, yeah. As I said, we think there is great potential in collaborating with WGIC members to create cost-effective hybrid platforms that combine the strengths of both open source and proprietary. I mean, this is already happening every day. Most proprietary solutions rely, I mean, most people don't know, but rely on open source components. Like GDAL, for example, is a well-known open source library that is used everywhere. It's the foundation of many systems, ArcGIS, Google Earth. Everybody's using it behind the scenes. Our goal is to take this further by becoming the go-to provider for professional expertise in building solutions that leverage open source tools like GeoServer, Maps, and GeoNode. Okay, because again, as I said many times, we hear this complaint that there is interest in end customers of let's say testing or road testing these products, etc. But it's hard to find someone who can help with the right knowledge. And I mean, we want to step up, and we don't claim to be able to do everything like every product, but the products we support, we claim to have the right expertise to help.
All right. Thank you so much for this conversation, Simone.
You're welcome. Thanks for your time.